Hey, what's up? It's GC Kinsey, and this is my mascara beard makeup tutorial. I like to start with a basic masculine contour underneath my beard. This is optional, but I always do it because otherwise, if I don't look like a guy, I look like a bearded lady. So I start out by laying down a base foundation with the Ulta Beauty Moisturizing Foundation Stick. And this is a cream-based foundation. I like it a lot. It's not quite as full coverage as a theatrical foundation, so it looks nice and natural, but it's a little bit better coverage than just kind of your typical drugstore liquid foundations. So I'm just blending this in with a triangle sponge. I don't have any fancy beauty blenders or brushes or anything. I'm very cheap, so I just use these triangle wedges, and I find they work really well for getting in all the little corners and crevices of your face. So I'm just blending that into the skin with tapping motions all the way on the face and neck. And there we go. Next, I'm going to set that with NYX Mineral Matte Finishing Powder in a translucent shade, and I just put a little bit on a blush brush and loosely dust that all over my face and neck. Now we're going to contour, and I like the NYX Professional Makeup Contour Palette. It's got a lot of great colors. I'm using a really neutral shade for this just to keep it natural. So I put some on a contouring brush, and this is going to go on the cheekbone. And what you really want is to see where the hollow of your cheekbone is and then contour straight back from that instead of going more upswept. And this is going to give you that really masculine square jaw. So once I find that hollow, I start stippling on the contour powder, and then I kind of sweep it back a little bit more toward the ear, right in a straight line. And then I blend it with a larger brush. That just helps it look a little bit more natural. I also like to pull some of the color down where the hollow of my cheek is just to really define it from the front view. So once I've done that on one cheek, I do it on the other, periodically checking to just make sure they match. Once I'm done, I blend it out one more time. And there we go. Next step is highlighting, and I'm going to be highlighting the part of my cheek that's right underneath where I cut that cheekbone, and that's just going to really make my jaw pop and look more square. So I'm just stippling a bunch of highlight powder in that area on both sides, and then blending it with my blush brush. Next, I'm going to contour my temples, and that is to give the forehead a nice squared off look. So I start by putting the contour powder right on the temple and sweeping up into the hairline. And then I also sweep back to the side into that part of my hairline as well. And then repeat on the other side. And then I blend. Next, I'm going to contour underneath my jawline to cast a really nice shadow on my neck, and this is going to make the whole jaw pop, really make it look squared off and angular. And I start by just applying color right under the jaw and sweeping it down onto the neck for a shadow effect. I also like to square off my chin by just applying a little color right there to give it a square appearance, and then just blend it into the rest of what I'm doing on my jawline, and then repeat on the other side. And you want to just think about how your jaw would cast a shadow if it were more square. Even if it's not actually that square, if it looks like it casts that shadow, it will give that illusion and it will come across more square on camera. And then once that's laid down, I blend that out. Next, I'm going to contour the brow bone leading into the nose, and I use a smaller brush for this. And what I'm doing is I'm just connecting my brow right to the corner of the nose, and I make it look like the brows are closer together, closer to each other and to the eyes, and more square. And again, that's just because you want those angles on your face. You want to give the appearance that your brow is more prominent and more square, and that it's casting a shadow down onto your eyes, and that your eyes look closer to your brows and more deep set. And that's going to just give you a more masculine appearance. So I'm just filling in that shadow with color. Sometimes I use my fingertip. I think it tends to just hold better on the lid and blend a little bit better. And then once I've got one eye, I make it match on the other side. And we will take care of the actual eyebrows themselves later, but this right now is just getting that shadow laid down that they're casting over the eyes. So once that's done, then I blend that out with the blush brush. You can also do things like an Adam's apple. You can contour the muscles in your neck. You can put some dark circles under your eyes, things like that. But this is the basic masculine contour, and it gives us a nice starting point for that beard, which is next. So what I do to lay down the beard is I take some hairspray and I just apply it all over the chin and neck area where the beard is going to go. And I kind of put my lips in so they don't get hairspray all over them, because that's really sticky and gross. Then I take L'Oreal Voluminous False Fiber Lashes Mascara, and I just start applying it to the peach fuzz on my face, going against the grain in kind of an upward motion against those hairs. That's going to really help them stand up off of the face. If you don't have any peach fuzz, that is okay. You can kind of just use the mascara wand to create the appearance or the illusion of hairs just directly on your skin. But if you do have peach fuzz, definitely take advantage. It's easier once you get kind of onto the sides of your face, because there's a lot more room to work and you can really cover a lot of area at once with that mascara wand. And this does take a while, usually about 45 minutes for me, but it took a lot longer at first. I do take it all the way up to the hairline and create a nice connected thick sideburn to the beard, which just helps anchor it and make it look more realistic. And whenever I'm covering the face, I think about how does a beard actually grow? And it tends to be sort of thicker right along the jaw and then thin out more as it goes higher and higher up onto the cheek. So I kind of mimic that look by applying the mascara in multiple layers and just thickening it, adding more in those areas where it needs to look like thicker hairs. And if you get any clumps in there that you really want to clean up, you can wait till the mascara is dry and sort of roll it away with a Q-tip. You definitely don't want to do it while the mascara is still wet. It will just smear, but it tends to roll away really easily when it is dry. So I'm just filling on in. The other thing is sometimes if you do get a little clump or something that looks a little bit thicker or darker, it can be okay, because a lot of times beards are not super even. They grow kind of patchy or not super perfect, so that can actually add some realism if you get a little clump here and there. So just kind of use your own judgment. So now I'm just really filling in, getting everything connected and thickened, and nice full beard coverage. So next I'm going to take it down into the neck area. And that's because if you have a kind of hard line where your beard stops, it's going to look super unnatural and super fake. So I take it down from the edge of the jawline all the way under the jaw and just onto the edge of the neck where the jaw meets the neck. And I like to kind of block out where it's going to go first before I fill it in. And I do this with really light, kind of thin and long strokes to look like the edges of hair. It's kind of like what you do on your cheek. It gets the thickest at the jawline, and then as you go outward from that, whether it's down on the neck or up on the cheek, it kind of tends to get a little thinner. So just keep that in mind. And once you've kind of got it blocked out, then you can fill in. Sometimes I find it's easier to get a little hand mirror or something that you can use to really look up under that jaw and make sure you're getting everything filled in, you're not leaving any gaps. And that's again just something where practice makes perfect. So I keep filling everything in, making sure everything's nice and connected. Checking one last time to make sure it's even, and yes, there we go. A few final little touch-ups. And there we go. We have got a beard. Next, we gotta make those eyebrows match. So I'm just applying the same mascara to my eyebrows, and I start by reshaping them somewhat. I fill in the arch. That's because a masculine brow tends to be straighter across and less arched, and also thicker. So I use the mascara, again, kind of going against the grain of the hairs, sort of making them stand up and out from my face. And that's just going to give it more thickness, more texture, and more dimension. So I just fill that brow in, making it thick and straight across. And by filling in the arch, it also gets it closer to the eye, which helps with that appearance of the eyes being more deep set and closer to the brow. I also go in a little bit further than my brows grow toward the nose as well. So once that's done, then I move on to the brow on the other side. And I kind of use the shape of the first one as a guideline for the shape of the second one, just trying to get them to match as closely as possible. But you know, don't worry if it's not perfect. As we say in the drag world, sisters not twins. Or in this case, maybe brothers not twins, siblings not twins. They're your brows, you can gender them however you would like. So just keep on filling that in until we've got a pretty nice even match. And you can really see the thickness and dimension of those brows once they've got that mascara on them, just like your beard. So once I do that, I like to go back and touch up the contour where it's casting that shadow, and that's just because a little bit of that powder can get rubbed away sometimes when you do your brows. Then I finish by setting all of this mascara area, so the beard and the brows, with a little bit of that same translucent setting powder. And that's just to make sure it's not going to sweat off. And we are done. So now we've got a full beard, full masculine contour, nice masculine face. And at this point, all we gotta do is work on that sexy masculine smolder. So that's going to be a wrap for this. If you've got any questions, please feel free to leave me a comment. Please feel free to contact me on my Instagram or other social media. I'm GC Kinsey on all platforms. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, please comment, and look out for the next one.